Hey, it's Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Today is Sunday the 5th of February 2017, and I am kind of done with all my outside stuff for today. And I've retreated into the butcher shop because it's pretty cold outside, and I have some things to do in here, and I thought I'd make a video to kind of demonstrate some of these products that we make, and hopefully help people to understand how this is done and how we got started in this and why we're doing this. Okay, I'm going to refer to a couple of books. I'm just going to show them to you right now. And these books, written by a guy that I know from down in Livonia, Brian Polson. Michael Ruman I don't know, and they wrote this book too. And we've gotten a ton of information on it. So with these two books right here, if you get these, they have all the information in it that we've gotten, and some other, stuff comes from other places too that we've learned along the way. And actually today I've been working with this, these products today. Is my cutting table and products that we've made, and with this product line, there's time involved. So you can take a piece of meat. All right, let's back it up from there. You can farrow a pig, raise the pig out, slaughter the pig, do the cutting, cure the meat, hang it, and then in a year you get to try it out. So it's kind of a long process, and you learn a lot along the way. Every situation that a person comes into is going to be different with pastured animals, because the weather changes, the forage, the growth on fields changes, source of feed changes, and the time of the year that you process the animal also affects how the animal's going to perform. So I kind of like to highlight a few products today and talk about them a little bit, but I'd like to preface it by saying every single piece of meat that you see here, they were all born on this farm. And this particular group of products, with the exception of this, was work from one pig that was killed here. Okay? I think. Yeah, that's about it. Oh no, there's going to be an exception, but that exception I'm going to show you is a much older cut, and it didn't make muster. So, but I'll show it to you and talk about it a little bit. But I did sample it, and it's not acceptable, not even acceptable to cook with. But I know why now, after doing this. Okay, the first product I want to go through is lard. Lard is from the Mangalitsa pig, and some people say that's the essence of the pig right there. These pigs are outside in the sunshine. They are actually harvesters of sunshine, some people say, because they're eating all the grasses and roots and everything that I plant for them. And like when I plant a turnip, it's a tiny little seed, and then the process begins, and by the time the pigs get to it, it's a bulb about this big with a big plume above it, and they eat that. And I plant other things for them too, as you may know from my videos. There are two types of lard. There is leaf lard, and then there is back fat lard, all right? And usually we only differentiate leaf lard, all right? Leaf lard is the more sought after. It comes from the inside of the animal. Sometimes it's called the kidney fat. It's a lot finer grained, and it has a more delicate flavor than the back fat. And for sure, it performs differently. This has a lot of attributes. Where this is rendered here at our place, the USDA has very strict rules about rendering. This animal would have to have been killed at a USDA plant, which it was, but then it also has to be rendered at a USDA inspected plant. And I only know of a couple of them in the United States, and I'm not willing to send my fat there in hopes that I get my fat back. So we render it right here, and that's what I'm doing right now. So we maintain custody of the fat all the way through. The downside of that is if I put this up for sale as a food item, the food police will be here in a hot minute. It's already happened. So I cannot sell this to you as a food item, okay? Has many other uses. You can comb your hair with it, as I've said before. You can rub it on your knees. Let's see, it's a good bullet lube. I actually rubbed some on a stump that a friend of mine gave me to use as a cutting slab, you know, to a chopping block, and it worked very good. Smells nice too. So it could be used for a lot of different things. I mean, you could probably use it on your hands, probably put it on your lips. You know, the list goes on and on. But I can't sell it as a food item. However, I can consume it myself at my house as a food item, perfectly legal, because whatever I do at my house is my business, right? So I can eat roadkill here if I feel like it. But I can't sell this through the mail, interstate, to you as a food item. So if you do order some of this, be advised, it's for combing your hair or rubbing on your knees. But it's made kind of like this. Here's how we get it back from the butchers. They do a quick grind on it for us, like that, and then it's frozen. And then we keep it frozen until we're ready to render it. And the rendering process is fairly simple, fairly straightforward. That is a double boiler. I have a little bit of fire going underneath it. It sits there in the double boiler. So long as there's water in the bottom of the double boiler, it will never get hot enough to burn it. And all we do is periodically just come in and stir it a little bit. You walk in here and it smells great. Makes you hungry. And when it's completely rendered down, you'll look in there and you'll just see these small particles of protein that are the like the ligament tissues that's in the fat. And when it renders down, those pieces are left over, and those are known as cracklings, right? And a lot of times people use those on their salads and stuff like that. But what we'll do then, the fat is still hot, we'll scoop it out of there with a ladle, and we'll ladle it into these through a filter, so we get everything out of it. So let's see if this will come out of here. Well, it doesn't want to come out now. It plopped right out before, but that's how it looks. And there is no pig flavor smell to it. It does have a slight smell, but not much. But around here, when we cook with it, like I've said this before, we pull beans out of the garden, and then my wife will quick stir fry them, and you don't even need meat. I mean, that's how good they are. It's just so good. The flavor is in the fat. And chefs go absolutely bonkers for this, because chefs are always looking for an edge over the next guy. This is it. Now, at some point, we will have our own plant where we can render this stuff out, and then it'll be made available as a food item. But for right now, it isn't. Okay, that's it for lard. Be right back at you with the next product.